law enforcement operations in Riverlea's Zamimpilo informal settlement have unearthed all sorts of illegal tools and marijuana. This is in a garden. 6 people have been arrested so far as police seek to maintain law and order. Over the weekend, fierce fighting between rival Zama gangs resulted in the deaths of 5 people. Let's bring in our colleague now, Ziniko Mhlaba, who is in Riverlea and has been out there since early morning. Ziniko, good morning to you. You have been in that area since the start of the day, effectively. The police operations in there, what can you tell us about them?
Good morning to you, Koli. Well, the operations here are continuing, and I can tell you the past hour or so there have been more arrests made by the police officers involved in this particular operation. Actually, just behind my colleague Senzo, Mhlaba, there are 2 vans that have been filled up by people who've been arrested. These 2 vans you see at the back of those vans, we have 6 people in this particular van, and on the other van you have about 7 people. So they are waiting for the authorities to be able to take them to the landlocked police station, which is about 1 kilometer away from here. So that's where they'll be processed. That's where Home Affairs will come in, and other government entities will be able to come in. The reason why they are being arrested is because of these tools we'll be finding at the back of this particular bakkie. So as the police officers continued to comb this area, they found these particular cylinders. They are called in local terms penduka. So these are the cylinders which are used to process whatever minerals they're able to get on the other side where they do that particular illegal mining. As you can see there, this is not just the one van that is filled up. There are many other vans which are filled up by cylinders and spades and all sorts of tools used in these illegal operations. So as we're also talking earlier to the various stakeholders here, we'll be speaking to CPF member, not we're still on another call now, but we come across something very, very interesting and very, very shocking. And the police officer who spoke to us about this particular discovery from these informal settlements is this form of the bomb. I don't know the official name of this particular bomb, but we're told off camera that this is the bomb that is being used to bomb the underground when they want to get access to more ground underneath there. So this is what's discovered earlier on, but the experts will be monitoring and processing it, so we'll just have to give them space so that they're able to process and do their work. So we can't touch it, can't even get too close to them. So that's the situation. So we'll try then to speak to the spokesperson of SAPS in Gauteng, who will give us more details about the nature of that bomb, what it's used for, and where it was discovered, and all sorts of information we can access in terms of that particular bomb. So the experts have just arrived, so they'll be taking over processing that particular item there. But some of the officers, some of the residents actually we spoke to, when they saw that item, they said it's a bomb which is used by illegal miners to bomb whatever ground they want to access, because they will not be able to access using spades and other forms of tools that can be handled by our own hands. So let's bring in the member of the CPF who's going to give us a sense of what role they are playing as members of the community who are responsible for fighting crime. As a CPF in Gauteng, when you see this operations, such operations, a show of force by law enforcement officers, what becomes your role as CPF?
Okay, specifically we try to maintain that relations, that community intelligence. As you can see, some of the members of community are afraid to speak to the police, but they will speak to fellow members. I think you saw me earlier on talking to some of the guys here, giving very important intelligence that we need, that we can relate to the police and try to assist the process.
Okay, so talk to us about the challenge of having to police informal settlements such as this one. how difficult it is, and what dangers do you get exposed to as members of the community who might not have the necessary tools police have in order to ensure that there's law and order in these communities?
It's the biggest headache, but I take my hat off for some of our members who reside in these areas, because here, if organized, you have committees. In these committees, they have safety committees, and you have some intelligence. The kind of intelligence that you can find here for free of community intelligence, it's amounting to tons and tons of intelligence. How do you use it? That's the important part. How do you utilize it? Do you use it? That's the important part.
So what has been the trend from your members? Have they been using it effectively without risking their own lives?
Oh, a lot. Some of the happenings are reported even prior. Some of these things, the shootings take place. I know for the fact the one that happened, say, in Maritzburg next to New Canada, our members were actually on the ground long before this thing happened, and some of the information that you filtered through. What is the biggest problem with regards to intelligence is that at times it's not credible. So you will get intelligence. It's really up to the law enforcers and experts or in that space that they make sure that they utilize it, take what you want, and obviously not what is needed. So from time to time, without community intelligence, I can tell you now, we're not going to go far. And some of these surprises will continue to happen.
Talk to us about the capacity of ground forces of Community Policing Forum in terms of having the necessary tools to deal with these problems that you encounter in these communities. Are there any talks of maybe capacitating you with more resources, with more tools, and with some form of training as well?
As I was on the phone now, actually, I was talking to my secretary because, as you know, the minister has given all the community police forums in the country about 70 million. In Gauteng, we have received 20 million, which we are working on. Plus, there's a 65 million that we will be utilizing in the priority stations. The Department of Community Safety through the crime wardens that are unleashed by the Premier, and also the other resources of training our people also on the intelligence, specific on intelligence, because people must know that what you post on the WhatsApp group can actually help and arrest the situation. So good things are coming to our space, and we are humble and happy to have that at least government has realized that community participation is very important in the fight against crime.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the voice from the Community Policing Forum here in Gauteng, but specifically talking about issues affecting communities such as this one here at Zamimpilo and Riverlea, but also alluding to the fact that, well, their role specifically is really based on giving law enforcement intelligence, but there's also talks of ensuring that they are capacitated enough. So that's the situation here, Koli, at Zamimpilo and Riverlea, west of Johannesburg.
Ziniko, Mhlaba, thank you very much for that comprehensive update. Very interesting views from that particular guest, talking about lots of intelligence that they get on the ground, free of charge, from the community. It's about how you use the information, therefore, in order to protect the community.